G'day guys, we're here on one of our up and coming projects, so I wanted to give you an insight into some of the things that we do, or I do, during our PAC process to make sure that when we go to contract, everything's finalised, everything's sorted, we've met the client's expectations and we can get cracking into the build, no unknowns, no variations, and everybody knows what to expect. So we're doing the PAC process with DPS Constructions. It means that I'm getting paid a fee for some time to come and spend on site to make sure that during the design process we figure everything out so that when we go to contract everyone's expectations are met and I know clearly what I'm doing. So I'm going around the site today and just finalising a few details. I've just had a conversation with the client because this is an existing home. We're doing a lift and build here. It's got a lot of existing infrastructure, hedging, gardens, a lot of children's play equipment, and we need to be very clear on what's to stay, what's to be looked after, their expectations on gardens, what we can remove, how we're going to get access to the site through those gardens and all those types of things. So I'm documenting all that today so that we can add that to our scope of works and everybody is clear on what's happening. And you can see here I'm sitting in front of the existing gas meter, so just confirming the location of that. That way we can document what needs to happen through the build. We can let the clients notify the gas supplier to get this disconnected in time so that the build can happen in a timely manner. And it's just really good to do these last final checks before we go to contract in a few weeks' time and finalise everything. So the other thing I really like to do during our PAC process, and especially on these types of lift and building underneath projects, is come to site and do a final check on the engineering. So on my iPad here, I've got on the screen the current set of engineering. So we've already been to site once, we've had plenty of discussions with the engineer. The designer has been under here and done a full measure up of all the existing bearers and joists, all their sizing, their locations, their spacings and all those types of things. That information has then been referred to the engineer, which he has then done his engineering design on. So being a lift and build, the new ground floor of this home is going to be 2 bedrooms, bathroom, laundry, a huge kitchen and big open plan living area, which means we've got to get rid of a lot of these posts. So I'm on site now just doing a final review of the engineering, making sure that the number of posts that he's shown in his drawing are correct for what's on the existing structure, making sure he has shown beams in the right locations to pick up the existing beams. And it's just a really good opportunity to do a final check of everything so that when we get on site, we know what's happening. There's no interruptions with the raising of the house. The house raiser, we can be confident, has priced it accurately because there's no confusion on the drawings. In the past, there was so many situations that would come up where we hadn't been to site. We would get given projects. A lot of the clients' decisions were based purely on the price and not what they were getting, or the education that they'd had through the process. And we ended up in lots of situations on jobs like this where we would do the demolition, we would get the house raised on site, we'd start raising the house, and beams wouldn't be allocated on the engineering in the right locations, there would be posts missing, all these types of things. So doing the PAC process, getting a team that collaborates really well together, and when I say team I mean client, myself, engineer, designer, architect, whoever it may be, that everybody has to be on the same page. And it is an area that can cause a lot of I guess uncomfortable situations, but more importantly a lot of variations during a build. But by me doing this here now on site, I am confident that our steel work is accurate, our house raising price is accurate, our framing price will be accurate, and we can get stuck into this job with confidence and a client that trusts us to know that we've gone to contract having everything covered. So the last check I want to do while I'm on site at this project is the pool area. So there's an existing pool on this site and the new lift building underneath extension has all been designed around this pool. Finishing the pool, resurfacing it, all the coping around it is not included in our scope of work. So we just want to check everything out while I'm on site now to make sure that there's a clear line and a clear scope of works that defines the work that we're doing to the new renovation and the existing pool and where everyone will stop and start. That way I know what I'm doing, the client's expectations are met, and we can go to contract knowing that everything's been covered. So I'm just about to wrap up my site inspection at this upcoming project as part of our PAC process. So we've checked landscaping, all the vegetation, we've checked the engineering under the house, we've had discussions about the pool, we've checked the stormwater, we've checked all the existing services. So I can now be confident, I can go back, I can do a final review of my proposal and all my scopes of works, and I can just have a final discussion with the client so that everybody's on the same page. I know exactly what I'm doing because I know in the past how many times I would turn up to a project, I wouldn't have had any consideration about the front yard, how we're going to get deliveries, how we're going to get product into the job, and there would have been so many things that I've solved today that in the past would have been variations. So if you're out there and you're thinking about building or renovating, the PAC process is the only way to have a successful outcome.